Alright, hey people, this is Chris Lucas, and today is November 6th, 2020, and again, another not so prepared show. Try to spend some time with my kids. That's kind of like the problem here is I work 65 hours a week. I try to spend a little time with my kids, and then it's like I don't get to do show prep. So and I was trying to make up a little time. Probably won't do a very long show tonight. I'm only looking to maybe go an hour maximum. So I guess let me just kind of. I guess one of the things I can point out is this Larry Gators guy. I thought he said something curious the other day. In fact, let me go ahead and rewind it and try to find the right spot. I'm trying to give people about 5 minutes to check on in anyway. But what minute mark was this at?
For my safety, much love, Bishop. To God be all the glory. I want to give some shout outs before we leave out tonight. Vote the Democrats out. That's right, Sister Pamela. You're exactly right. God bless you, Sister Taylor. Let me know where you're from, Sister Taylor. Bella Taylor, let me know what city. The man with brass knuckles, the size of Mount Rushmore, who is going to decapitate the deep state. President Trump is not a man who's going to sit down with his enemies to have a glass of beer in the bowl of peanuts. Okay.
Well, see, that's not really true, Mr. Bishop. See, this guy, oh my gosh. You know, it's like he does actually have a lot of knowledge, but this is kind of what, like, the spiritual deception, I think that might be coming at people. Is a guy that's got, like, a lot of spiritual knowledge, a guy that like makes a lot of sense. Like I said, there's like this one recent video he did like a day or two ago, where he did it with two other people, and they were all giving commentary, and a lot of things they said make sense. A lot of things were actually correct in it. But my whole thing is, he also says things like, Donald Trump's not this type just to like, sit around with his enemies. And it's like, actually, yeah, Donald Trump nominated Kavanaugh and Barr, and these people should be everybody's enemies because we wouldn't have a deep state. Okay? But this isn't the part that's like real crazy to me. Part that's really crazy to me is a little bit later.
Okay. This is not Barack Obama. We have a real president. Okay. One more time before we close out tonight. We need your financial help, please. You should be like popcorn right now. Boom, boom. You should be like popcorn. Please go to PayPal. Okay. And I know it's late there in England. And thank you so much, Sister and Brother Cronshaw and Sister Georgia, for staying up late. And I do apologize for keeping you guys up so late in England and throughout Europe, okay, in the Netherlands and Holland. So paypal.me/GSRR Media Growth, okay. There it is right there. Click on that link. It says Global Spiritual Revolution Radio in black letters with the yellow and gold background. Click on that link. Thank you so much, Sister Susan Georgia. Thank you. I love you, but love you, Sister Susan Georgia. Love you, Brother and Sister Cronshaw. Love you. Mind blowing. No finances, no biscuits. I love that, Sister Loda. God bless you guys. Oh, it's 6 o'clock in LA. All right. God bless you. Brother Terry, we will end this tonight, okay? Trump winning most states right now. Thank you, DJ Tatter. That is great news. Woo! That's great news. I'm praying, God, don't let the Democrats cheat. And the Lord keeps telling me, Bishop, why are you worried? God says, I got this. Okay? because I love this country so much. I don't want Joe Biden. I have nothing personal against Joe Biden because I know what Joe Biden represents, if that is indeed Joe Biden. Okay. Oh, God bless you guys in Jesus' mighty name. We love all of you guys. We honor you in Jesus' mighty name. We love you guys in Jesus' mighty name. Woo! I'm telling you right now, God is in full control. And his name is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We love you guys. We're going to end it there tonight. Listen, let me say this as well. I thank you guys for your prayers, for praying for the bishop each and every day. My life is literally on the line all the time. All right. I have a security detail. So pray for my safety. Much love, Bishop. To God be all the glory. I want to give some shout outs before we leave out tonight. Vote the Democrats out. That's right, Sister Pamela. You're exactly right. God bless you, Sister
Still
Taylor.
trying to find the part.
Let me know where you're from,
video.
Sister Taylor.
I was
Bella
driving
Taylor, let me know what
around,
city
so I'm not
and
really
state
sure which part
that you're from, so we can give you a great shout out. God bless you, Sister Daisy. Boy Height, my spiritual son in Houston, Texas. You are a blessing to us. Thank you, Brother Boy Height, all in capital letters. That's my spiritual son. I'm telling you, he is a warrior. I'm telling you, he is a contract assassin for Jesus Christ. God bless you. Maryland, God bless you. What city, Bella Taylor? What city? Okay, I go down to Mitchellville, Maryland once a year. This speaking also to Silver Spring, Maryland. Went there last summer. I go there once a year for a Spanish bishop friend of mine in Silver Spring. Every year I go down there. God bless you. All right, God bless you. Let me get some shout outs before Democratic Party is shot. God bless you, Brother James Mansfield. Love you, sir. Taylor,
I'm looking for this particular part where he says he's cute.
And I believe that the CIA or the NSA lab or the military laboratory is in Fort Meade. God bless you, sir. God bless you, Brother Boy Hype. God bless you. Amen, Bishop Gaddis. We love you. Love
I was driving
you,
around and I can't remember. I don't know what part
ministry.
he said.
God bless
I
you.
know it's somewhere
Shout
around
outs before we leave here
part of the
tonight.
clip.
God bless you. Chemo Sabi. God bless you. Just family. God bless you. Sister Porter from Louisville, Kentucky. We're praying for the sister NSA. Thank you, Sister Bella Taylor, for that. The NSA laboratory, NSA Fort Meade. I'm telling you, let's continue to pray for our intelligence agency that we get the right people who love America and will not weaponize the CIA or the NSA. Lola Concho, God bless you. Good night, all. We're going to say good night. It's late, and I don't want to keep some of you guys up. Good night. I love you, and continue to pray for the bishop. Okay, continue to pray for the bishop, and we see you next time on our Global Masterclass. Tomorrow night, I'll be back on Global Spiritual Revolution Radio. We're going to have a special roundtable. We have what we call the Acts of the Apostles Summit once a month, where we have guests. Thank you so much, Mother Ann. Go to PayPal if you want to donate $100.
Okay, there's some part like right around here. I'm sorry it's taking me a while. I was kind of waiting for a few people to try to stop in the chat room anyway. Basically what I'm looking for is this part where Larry Bishop says he's cute. And I know it's around like the 320 mark. I started it a little while ago around the 325 mark. So I want to go a little bit earlier and try to hear him where he says it, because I just think this is something that might be interesting to people. Since, you know, there's all this talk about Q, but I really think this guy's like kind of, if you listen to him, I get the feeling that there's some kind of spiritual trap that's about ready to be played on everybody. And I really feel like somehow someone like this might draw people in, because this guy, I mean, I feel like I even get like some knowledge from him, but at the same time, he says things that like I just don't get. Like, how can you say Trump doesn't, sit down and have tea with his enemies and things like that? Because it's like, obviously, if you look at the people who Trump nominated into office, he absolutely does that. the Vatican is 100% an enemy against the United States of America. And Trump's done nothing but nominate Catholics. We know the Pope's got this whole, like, he backs this climate change. The Pope backs the Green New Deal. We know the Democrats back the Green New Deal. We know the Democrat Party is basically ran by the Vatican and has been since 1840. And the only thing that's happened since then is the Vatican has gained more and more control of the Republican Party. And as it's gained control of the media, you'll notice third parties don't get to talk much in media. Why not? That's because the Vatican controls the media, and they control most of the Republican Party at a federal level, and they control the Democrat Party pretty thoroughly at all levels. So, basically, when they have these people debating on TV like Trump versus Biden, it's a completely staged debate between two candidates that they both control. In fact, even most of the people running that get to run for president, those are all Vatican agents and Vatican controlled. When you see them debating in Republican primaries, Vatican controls them all, even and definitely in the Democrat Party. But a lot of people don't understand how thoroughly controlled it is in the Republican Party as well. So, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and play that clip a little bit more and see if I can find it.
$200, $150, $200. Two people, $1,000. Love you too, Bishop. Love you too, Miss Johnson. Every time you're not on with us, Miss Johnson, I miss you. I really do. Don't go away. I know many times you guys have your own lives and you're busy. God bless you, Sister Charity. Thanks, Bishop. Blessings. Awesome recap. Thank you so much, Sister Charity. PayPal.me, praise God, / GSRR Media. Thank you so much, my brother. Love you $30. Thank you so much, brother St. Chaz. Brother Al, love you, love you. If you vote for this clone, let me tell you something. It would be the end of the United States for America as we know it. You talking about abortions on demand of children? I want you to listen to me. You're talking about abortions on demand. The abortion rate will quadruple under Biden. The debt will quadruple under Biden. I'm warning you, like the prophet Samuel and seer Samuel warned Israel when back in 1 Samuel chapter 8, they wanted a king. Okay, and Samuel said, this is what's going to happen. If you vote for Joe Biden, and what I'm about to say may sound harsh, but it's authentic. If you vote for Joe Biden, whatever comes on this country, you deserve it. I'm not talking about death. Whatever comes, I'm telling you.
He talks about Biden tripling the debt. Donald Trump just spent $6 trillion on the flu, man. Come on.
I voted for Trump and Pence. Thank you so much, Brother Terry B. Thank you so much. It is important. This is the most important election. Bishop, I sent 50. Hope you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steph White. Thank you so much. Love you, Steph White. Love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you. And let me know, guys, if you're a man or a woman, because sometimes you have nicknames and I don't know if you're a man or a woman, a brother or a sister. Let me know in Jesus' mighty name. Oh, Mother Ann, we're missing some people. I think we're missing, who was it, Sister Austin or Sister Fisher. I think we're missing her. I haven't seen her in a while. But God bless you guys. God bless you guys. Please vote for President Trump. Okay? Now, I'm saying right now, everyone, listen, and this is very, very important, okay? Tomorrow's election, if we are allowed by God to see tomorrow, if the rapture of the church doesn't take place. Now, if the rapture of the church takes place, hallelujah to God, we'll be with the Lord forevermore. But if not, and we're still waiting on the Lord, it is so important. This is the most important election of our lifetime. Okay? What the Democratic Party wants to do is to bring in a communistic caliphate state. That's why Barack Obama, who hates America, and I know black people don't like it, I don't care. Barack Obama was chosen by the deep state to destroy this country. And Barack Obama doesn't even care about Joe Biden. Barack Obama cares about Barack Obama. This is the reason why it's important for you to vote for God's man, President Donald J. Trump. I need a man with brass knuckles the size of Mount Rushmore who is going to decapitate the deep state. President Trump is not a man who's going to sit down with his enemies to have a glass of beer in the bowl of peanuts. Okay?
Okay, I can't, man. I'm really sorry, man. I just can't spot the part of it. I know it's right around this 320
Two people,
mark.
$1,000. Love you too, Bishop. Love you too, Miss Johnson. Every time you're not on with us, Miss Johnson, I miss you. I really do. Don't go away. I know many times you guys have your own lives and you're busy. God bless you, Sister Charity. Thanks, Bishop. Blessings. Awesome recap. Thank you so much, Sister Charity. PayPal.me, praise God, / GSRR Media Group. Okay, beloved. There it is right there. Boom. There it is right there. Is in with the black letters, Global Spiritual Revolution Radio, Media Group with the yellow or gold background. Click on that link. Use your mouse. I don't like to call it mouse. Just use your browser and click on that link. It's safe and secure. Bless Global Spiritual Revolution Radio as we present a fresh meal each and every Sunday night and Monday afternoon. God bless you, Brother James Mansfield. Bishop is a spiritual assassin. Thank you so much, my brother. Love you in Christ. God bless you. And want to let you guys go. Listen, if you have not voted already, please vote for President Trump. He's not perfect, okay? But you know what, beloved? I did not vote for an angel. I voted for a man 4 years ago that was going to bring down the deep state. I gave you $30. Thank you so much, Brother St. Chaz. Brother Al, love you, Brother Al. And Brother Al going to be.
But see, the thing is, he hasn't brought down the deep state. I really need to do a video just exposing this guy, period. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do tonight as far as, like, topics to talk to. And people I'm kind of searching for this. This is kind of, like, this is my first chance, like, I got to even sit down really to, like, sit down for a little bit and try to do some research. Like I said, 65 hours a week working. I got 2 small children. I got other things I got to do on top of that. And so but I mean, I know, like, I listen to these shows in my car and I hear weird things. And I think people, at least what some of the bigger names are saying. Like, this guy had like 14,000 views. He had 1,000 people thumbs up his video. He's got how many subscribers? I think the guy's got like tens of thousands of subscribers. Like, I think he's got probably like 100,000 subscribers. I'll have to check his channel out later, but I really just want to find this one part.
Be working on the project together. God bless you, Brother Al. Love you there in Los Angeles in Jesus' name. As soon as this mess is over with and it's safe for me to travel, I definitely want to come to Los Angeles. God bless you. All right, listen, it is important. You cannot vote for Joe Biden. I want you to listen to me, guys. Listen. But people who are on that higher financial bracket, $1,000 is speaking to you. This is how the enemy just gave $10. Thank you so much, God. Go to PayPal on that high bracket. The rest of you, just there it is. Click on that link. Thank you so much, Brother J. Medications. No pressure. No pressure. Continue to take your medication. Continue to eat. Some of you hours give up. Listen to the radio. % right. Not mind-blowing information. Sister Kimberly Shaw, I just donated $30. Bishop, thanks for the teaching tonight. You have 50 cents? Amen. Cap, thank you so much, Sister Charity. PayPal, to get back, Dr. Gad Sack. Voting for Trump, another $10. Thank you so much. Radio shows. I'm on a lot of radio shows. And thank you, and Miss Ann, and thank you so much. Love all of our Global Spiritual Revolution Masterclass family and new chosen chariots from the deep state in Egypt who had taught the language of Lucifer. Back to the Old Testament. Now remember, as you go to Exodus chapter 3. Woo, my God. Listen, I feel like preaching, but I'm not going to do that. I feel like preaching, but I'm not going to do that. Matter of fact, the Lord is saying to me, go to chapter 14. Thank you, Holy Spirit, of Exodus. Concerning when the children of Israel came up out of Egyptian bondage. Please write this down. Are you ready to have your minds blown again? I said, are you ready to have your minds blown? Operation Q Kadash. Write this down. There were 600 chosen chariots from the deep state in Egypt who had taught the language of Lucifer, the dialect of Satan, and the accent of the devil called hieroglyphics. 600 chosen chariots driven by 600 chosen devils who had 600 chosen titles, 666. The deep state was coming after the church. What was in front of the church was COVID-19, the Red Sea. Oh, Lord Jesus. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me tonight. I want you to look at Exodus chapter 14. Man, I feel like crying here. Oh, listen, this is God. Exodus chapter 14, verse 1. The Holy Spirit told me, Bishop, take your time. And the Lord, Yahweh, Yahushua, who became Jesus, spake unto Moshe on Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth and between Migdol and the sea, Red Sea, over against Baal Zephon before it shall encamp by the sea. There was a mountain on their right, a mountain on their left, 600 chosen chariots behind them, and the Red Sea, COVID-19 in front of them. And now the church is told to shut down. What do we do when you don't know what to do? A mountain on your right, Pi-hahiroth, a mountain on your left, Migdol, 600 chosen chariots driven by 600 chosen men who had 600 chosen titles, 666 behind us. That's the deep sea. But in front of us is the Reed Sea that we call the Red Sea. That is, at its deepest point, is 9,999 feet deep. What do you do when you don't know what to do? And so what they do, and this is what we do, we pray. Okay, there's a time to stop praying, okay? This is what I'm telling Black America. Thus saith the Lord. Okay, stop marching, stop rioting. Okay, every year we march through the Pettus Bridge.
I'll stop it there, man. I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna read some comments, but I'm gonna stop the video because I'm really sorry. I'll try to go to. I don't want to waste everyone's time, watching this. It's like, oh my gosh, I already spent 24 minutes trying to search through this. But this is kind of what I go through on my own, before some videos I present. It's like there's a lot of research and a lot of time, and like I said, I was just doing it live because I thought I wrote down the right timestamps. I was driving when I'm listening to this, and so it's like real hard to know exactly. I thought I had it this timestamp close, but this particular video, I did hear him say "I am Q," and it was somewhere around the 3:20 mark. It was like towards the end of the video, but it might have been before that. I don't know. I mean, I just remember him going, "I am Q," and then he did hear me play the parts where he's saying they had to have security around him, and that his life's in danger. And I wonder, like, is he really Q, or is he really trying to tell people he's actually Q, or is this Q thing like a metaphor he's using? Like, I couldn't figure that out when I'm listening to his video, and I'm like, this is some guy's show I don't listen to a lot. Like, I was just kind of listening to it because I was like kind of curious just what he had to say, because I know he's starting to be a figure that's getting like elevated within these like truther circles, and and it's like some of the things he teaches sounds really good and really deep, but then it's like you heard me play those parts where he's like really talking up Trump, and I know there's a problem with Trump. You just don't go and fight the deep state and nominate Catholics. And when these people talk up Trump, they don't talk up a reason as to why he nominated these Catholics. See, before you tell me you think Trump is honest, tell me the whole goal behind nominating nothing but Catholics. Because to me, that's even a stupid strategy unless you think elections are fixed. But then if you think elections are fixed, why are you telling me to vote for Trump, But if elections aren't fixed, okay, a guy that's running a very organic election, I know, like, when you're a Republican, mostly Protestants vote for you. Mostly Protestants are Republican. Most Catholics do vote Democrat. That's why when they bring over all these, when we let all these people across the border from Mexico, why is it that it changes the votes in California from Republican to Democrat, like it did when Reagan passed amnesty? Well, it changed those votes because most Catholics vote Democrat, and 90% or more of those countries south of the American border are Roman Catholic. Like 90% of those populations. So when they come here, they vote Democrat. That's just what it is. Why do they vote Democrat? Like I said in the past, global warming, climate change, open borders, amnesty, gun control, all these things the Catholic Church pushes. Guess who else pushes them? Democrat Party. So it's real simple to see that a Catholic's going to tend to vote on policies. If there's a political party that supports these same policies of their church, don't you think you're going to gravitate towards that political party? But what happens with independents and Protestants? A lot of them tend not to vote because they don't even like the candidate, so they might vote third party. Why did Trump win by so much? I think Trump actually won by more than what they reported. But why do you think like so many independents and Protestants were enthusiastic about him? He said he was going to close the borders. He said he was going to fight this deep state. He was calling out the rhinos. And so when he was doing all this, a lot of Protestants were going to vote for him. But even now, there's a lot of even atheists I hear that they're like, wow, man, I was kind of sitting on the border, and I don't like how Trump put all these Catholics in office. Because there's some people, man, that sit on the border of voting for a president every single time. And anyone new during my time, yes, I realize, I really do believe a lot of the elections are fixed. So since I think a lot of these elections, since I think the elections are, I definitely think this election's rigged. If anything, this one's rigged. So, but I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, man. There's a lot going on in my house, but the oh gosh, okay. I understand the election's rigged, but at the same time, organically, you're not gonna get. You gotta now. You can't just nominate Roman Catholics and expect people to vote for you. Um, and there are people sitting on the fence. Even like there were some Democrats I was seeing that were thinking about voting Trump because they saw this chaos going on, and even then, like these Democrats that like they don't really see all that deep into all this stuff. But even I saw them like debating about it, and they didn't even like the fact that like wow, Trump just puts all these Roman Catholics on because they tend to think like I don't know why I guess because of like Kennedy and all, they kind of tend to think, wow, the Democrat Party's the better party because they grew up around Kennedy and thinking he was like the last great president. So that's why they became a Democrat. And you see Trump do this and it's like, they don't want to vote for Trump. And it's real stupid. No one can justify like why Trump did that. All these people that keep saying vote for Trump and Larry Gators, you're this big, deep, you're so deep and spiritual, right? Don't you know the Vatican's the great whore? And you don't have any issues at all with Trump nominating nothing but Catholics. So I'm going to go ahead and read some people's responses. Bjorn Smith says, you have to be a deep state member to be president of the USA. Trump and his family and his families are members too. This con artist on YouTube selling God is no different from Simon the Mage wanted to bribe Peter. Oh, bribe. Because there was like that part in the Bible where Simon Magus tries to bribe Peter for the Holy Ghost, was trying to buy the Holy Ghost. And Peter rebukes him. And actually, I'm seeing that, but I can see why people get hooked into this guy when you listen to him. I can see why they're sort of seduced by him and find him to be like spiritual. He does say, like I said, he did this video with these two other guys recently, and it sounded really good, and he made a lot of truthful points in it. And the other people in the video with him made a lot of truthful points about the psychology behind why people get involved in things like Black Lives Matter and things like that, why people might even act out in riots and things like that, and why people might go and vote for like Biden and things like that. Like they made a lot of good points. But, like I said, like there's something off here and that just doesn't make sense to me. And I think this is part of that spirituality that you might see rising up. Because I've talked in a video recently about how I think there's going to be this implosion of the Catholic Church. There's going to be an implosion of these like different systems, and maybe even an implosion of the money system to all coordinate with it. And what you might see is like you might see the Catholic Church even imploding on itself, but out of it, I think something's going to rise out of it, and it's going to look like, oh, wow, we got rid of all these evil actors. But it's not. It's going to be the same people still controlling the system with only an appearance of getting rid of the evil actors. Just like Trump in of itself sums that up. Trump in of itself is an image of that. He makes it look like you're fighting against the deep state. He's got this image. You see all these like deep state actors, people who you think are rhinos, attacking him. But when you really look deep into it, you don't see. You see him appointing. You see him appointing deep state members. You see him appointing people who helped the deep state get away with crimes in the past. You see him appoint people who believe in torture and all these other things. So, and it's like, and even his justices, you go, well, Trump's got the goods on him. Trump's going to, they change. Like people actually told me, I think they must have changed, Chris, or Trump wouldn't have appointed him. Kavanaugh changed, man. or Trump wouldn't appoint him, man. I'm telling you, he had to change. Trump would not have appointed him. And it's like, dude, wake up, dude. Like, I want to slap you. I want to just slap you around. Like, get a grip on yourself. Understand what reality is. You know, it's Trump appointed deep state, and they did not change, because even after he was elected, they, you know, Kavanaugh was siding with the Democrats with Planned Parenthood and all that other stuff, and people were like, "Well, I'm kind of surprised." Well, I'm not. Look at his history. You know, the guy supported NSA spying and things like that. Guy's got a horrible lower circuit track record. I mean, really, I mean, you guys that supported Trump on this, do you want to debate me sometime about what a good track record Kavanaugh had in the lower circuit court? No, what you are being is emotional, and you're allowing your emotions and what you want to feel good about to determine your perception and your reality that you're believing in. See, you're real emotional, just like the Democrats are. You're just as emotional. And I know that hurts, but that's the truth, and you need to hear it. And I really don't care enough. I get someone mad enough to where they don't want to associate with me anymore. This is the truth. This isn't time to be playing around with people and be worrying about your feelings. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you the truth, and tell you that you cannot be leading others down this path, helping other people fall back into the spell. See, a lot of people are kind of like, man, this Trump, this doesn't make sense to me. And they're kind of waking up, you know, and seeing what's going on. And then you got these other people that seem like real deep Christians, you know, even talking about the Jesuits and things like that. And they'll still pull people in like, oh yeah, but you can vote for Trump. We need to vote for Trump. No, I'm sorry. You have fallen asleep. And you're making other people fall back into this spell, and I think it's wicked. You know, it's there's absolutely no excuse for it. One of the people in the chat say, Bjorn Smith says, Cuban Missile Crisis was a boost for the Catholic Church. It caused the movement of the revolution communist in Central and South America fleeing to the USA during 1960 and 1990, creating a strong Catholic base. That's an interesting point. I never really thought about that, but you know, that might make a lot of sense about a few things. I think one thing, man, like, I still don't know if some of these like so-called communist movements, like the one that was going on in Nicaragua, was as bad as people were saying, man. When I was researching it, like the Sandinistas didn't seem like horrible people. They seemed like people that were fed up with a corrupt Catholic clergy ruling over their country, and they were trying to throw them off. And I mean, you could. I mean, if there is a possibility that you could establish like a Christian sort of communism. I mean, I know some people really fight hard against that kind of ideal, but I mean, you could, you know, if you had a strong enough community of believers. But I just don't think for the most part it works when you try to do it on a massive scale. Just because it always seems like the government always does something to corrupt the whole system. And then it's like, when you start having people not pull their own way, even if they might be Christian, you could have a community where, you know, let's say everyone kept all the commandments. And you could still have a community where, even though you kept all the commandments and it was a communist community, it would start to go down just because one person might slack, another person might slack, or someone might perceive someone slacking, so they slack. And you know, pretty soon you got like a whole nation that just starts to kind of slack off a bit because they're trying to adjust for what they're seeing, and they don't want to, you know, get the effort, because no matter what effort you give in a communist community, you still get paid the same. So you could work really fast and hard for 8 hours. Someone else might just kind of walk through the whole shift, and you both would get paid the same. And so that under that, even if everyone kept all the commandments, you can see how people might naturally bring down the production of their whole nation. So Bjorn says Ethel Kennedy, like Fidel Castro, and she met Fidel 7 times in Cuba and named her dog Cheese Strong. Huh. Well, that's pretty. See, I always wondered if there was something odd to that whole missile crisis, because the whole thing about that is, they originally told those rebels that were fighting Castro, they were wanting to fight up in the mountains where they would have fared better. But I think Kennedy or someone in our military told them, no, fight on open land and we'll give you air support. Well, they never gave them air support, and they wound up getting slaughtered, if I remember that story correctly. So I mean, there's no telling. Like, for me, I don't know all the details of it. There's just things about that whole Cuban Missile Crisis from the years in the years leading up to it that just like real fishy to me, and don't make a lot of sense. I still haven't, for me myself, I still haven't understood all the pieces. I just don't. I just, there's something going on that I'm not quite understanding, and there's just things going on that just don't make sense to me. But I don't think Kennedy was like some brave hero and of any sort when it came to that missile crisis, because I feel I get the sense that he almost caused it in the first place. And I mean, he is a Catholic, and they do play both sides, and they use everything for their gain and their advancement. So, but I can't really throw out anything real strong off the top of my head. It's just kind of like when I'm looking at that whole situation, like certain things aren't making a lot of sense to me. But I don't know if anyone's got any topics or anything I take a look at, discuss. Yes, I can't really think of much. Like I said, like sometimes I do these and it's like a bunch of thoughts pop in my head, and other times, it's kind of like this where like I can't get a good roll going on. Tell you one thing about that election though, I still think Trump's going to wind up somehow winning, or at least he's going to wind up battling those results. And I think if they declare Biden a winner, that thing's not over. But I mean, like I said, I always thought that was the plan. If anyone I know I do these long broadcasts. Not everyone hears every word I say in them. But there was a few months ago, might have been 4 or 5 months ago, where I thought Kamala, it was before Kamala was even Biden's VP. I thought Kamala was going to be the vice president, just because they wanted to run the worst ticket possible. And I said, I think they plan on rigging the election and make the general election very close, and then they want to make it look they want to make the rigging look obvious. And part of the thing is, I think they're going to start leaking these Project Veritas videos out. I want to take a look at their channels real quick, see what they're throwing out there. We can see Project Veritas, and this is the exact thing I was predicting about 5 months ago, is that a group, I should have thought of Project Veritas though, because they're the ones that are always making these sorts of videos. But I knew there was going to be some kind of video, some kind of proof that starts getting leaked about election fraud. And then you got this UPS whistleblower. And I know, and this is why I thought Biden was going to win a very close election. And this is what I meant by they're going to make the rigging obvious. They're going to show you plenty of proof it was rigged. And this is all, in my opinion, to cause some kind of chaos. And I'm not 100% sure where this is going to lead, but I think ultimately maybe Trump fights this and Trump looks like some kind of hero and wins it. And I'm not sure what happens really after that. But I mean, that's kind of what I think is that I'm thinking Trump winds up probably serving another term. I think Biden will be declared the winner. I thought that initially. I thought Biden would be declared the winner, or it would look like he won the election. They might say, "Oh, Biden's ahead in the electoral college," and they might say, like, it might be a week from now, and they say he's ahead. He looks to be the president, but maybe they don't officially call it. But it'll look like he's at least ahead, even if they don't officially say he won. I think he's going to look like he's ahead for quite a while, for like a couple of weeks. And Trump's going to wind up fighting this. Like I said, I think a lot of these videos, they only got like about 100,000 views. I think some of these videos will wind up probably having 1 million views as this thing gets like pumped up and more people, start wanting to look into this and they start circulating. I don't think they really want to. I think this is about all they want to circulate it. Well, I guess right here already 1 million views. So I think like these things are going to start to get really pumped up, and you're going to start to see almost all these videos start to get about 1 million views at least. So, that would be the plan I see coming. And maybe this is so they can start riots, so they can have different things happening, have patriots that want to go and fight over this. But I tell you what, it's kind of interesting, only 600,000 subscribers, and he's getting 1 million views. That means, when these people are sharing these videos, and a lot of other people are getting pretty interested in them and watching them. And most of these views, they're probably not coming from the 6,000 subscribers. You'd probably only get 1/10 of those people that actually watch your videos. And then off of that 1/10, so you would say maybe about 150,000. So anything over about 150,000, that's probably from where they got other people to watch these videos. That's what I'm imagining. But we'll see if there's anything else, because there have been some YouTube things I did want to see, did want to cover, but I gotta say, man, I'm kind of like, him, friend Mark. I just don't see how he can support Trump. I mean, like, he's one of the people I said are, they believe in they know about the Jesuits. He made this really good documentary about the Eustacia and just how evil they were. And I kind of like his documentary because it's pretty good, but it's also pretty quick. It's only about maybe 15 minutes to watch. And I still want to put it up on my website. I just keep forgetting to. I got the long one, which is Sons of Herod, which is by someone else. I think it was someone from Yugoslavia made it. And I got the English version on my website. And I think that's really good, but it's like 2 hours long. So I kind of want to share his, since it's a nice 15 minutes. And then if someone is still interested, they can watch Sons of Herod. But But yeah, when I hear him talk, it's like he is so pro Trump, and like I said, I didn't mind people saying that, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump because I want to vote for someone that's the least resistant to preaching the gospel, all that stuff. Like, I understand these strategies, but the problem is no one's like even him, like I don't remember him like ever like saying, before, like while Barr is getting nominated, while Kavanaugh is getting nominated. Like, I don't remember him going, oh, no, we can't be nominating these guys. They're deep state. Hey, we got to call them out on this. See, the only reason that if you're going to vote for Trump anyway, because you think Trump's saying some of the right things, even though he's not doing the right things, well, you got to call him out when he's nominating these deep state actors. And when you don't do it, there's no purpose of it. See, it's one thing, if someone's like saying, oh, Chris, I'm going to do this. But see, if I keep holding their feet to the fire, a lot of people, even if they don't want to do something, if you kind of keep like calling them out, they'll go ahead and come around and doing what they said they were going to do, because you keep calling them out and they don't want to look like a liar publicly. But when you don't call them out and you just let them do these things, it's like, come on. And then when you kind of gloss over it, which is what I feel like he was doing, he's glossing over it now. And he's like, well, Trump's got his hands full, and it's like, well, no. Chris Lucas, I work 65 hours a week. I got 2 small children. I don't have advisors. I can't go, hey, I want you to do something. I want you to check up on Barr and Mina, because I remember when, back in 92, about, that whole Mina and Clinton and Bush dealing drugs through there. Can you go check up on that? I know Trump knows about that. If Trump tries to say he doesn't know about that, I don't know how, like, why are you even voting for him for president? Because he's not even keeping track of like anything happening in his own country that's of importance. Like, that was a big deal. And so for people to just brush this off when that was like a big scandal in the 1992 election with him and George Bush, no. So, I mean, it almost makes me not even want to listen to his channel anymore. I mean, I know that sounds really harsh, but I can't stand that. And I feel like what you're doing is you're making people fall back into a spell. People that are kind of starting to see the light, I feel like you're kind of helping them fall back into the spell. And I actually see glimpses of yourself falling into this spell. It's really weird how you thought maybe America might be the second beast. You see Trump nominating all these Catholics, and yet it's not affecting you. It's not like shaking you and going, wow, Trump is like not this good guy, because you still make him sound like he's out to fight deep state. He's not. And I've seen your intros and things like that, and it's like, not happening. Nope, no, not happening at all. That it's like there's like too much build up and there's not enough being real about it. It's just not enough being real about it. Let's be real. But it's kind of like, I feel like there's this hype, like you're hyping him up, and it's like, no. You gotta say, man, this guy, he fell on his face. He spent $6.2 trillion on the flu. He's horrible. Now, if you were like, oh, but we should probably still vote for him because he's saying some of the right things, man, maybe we can try. Maybe we can try harder to hold his feet to the fire. Okay, but don't be hyping him. No. Don't be even hyping him. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, hey, I see I got some new people that joined. If anyone's got anything to say or want to throw out anything, I don't know if there's anyone that wanted to come on. I could let someone come on for about 10 minutes. I kind of told my children I'd cut the show off in about an hour, and it's almost an hour now, but I can, run for about maybe 10, 15 more minutes if anyone wanted to throw a couple words out there. But yeah, I might try to do a show a little bit later. Once my children go to sleep, I might do like another show at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Do one for about an hour and at least. But I'm just kind of scrolling through here, seeing if there's anything else I need to cover. Okay, I've listened to this Fullerton Informer around the very beginning of it. I don't know, like he kind of maybe someone said something in the chat. Like I said, I was listening to him in the car, but he's like, I don't like it when people even try to call me a Jesuit. So I guess he's like an ex-Catholic, but he's not a Jesuit. You know, he says he doesn't like the Jesuits and kind of went on about. I don't know if I've ever heard him talk much about the Jesuits, but I know. I think I typed a comment that day about the Vatican really running things, and I don't know if he was flipping off him to me. Like I said, I was just I had I like stopped for a minute, and I had a chance to say something to him before I had to get going and drive somewhere, and I just typed a quick comment, and then I'm like listening to him just fly off. So I don't know if it was over me, but that's weird if I'm the one who triggered that, because I was basically just saying, oh, the Jesuits are behind it, and then he took it like, then that would have meant he took it like I was calling him out when I was just saying something in general to try to, because he was talking, and I just want to, throw some extra points in there, but. I tell you one thing though, one thing that's making me really upset is he's like, I think most of these truthers on here that are like pro-Trump are gatekeepers, because I got a real issue that here's this guy, Dr. Shiva, who was ripped off in the Republican primaries. And I did reach out to a lot of these big, YouTube channels that are supposed truthers. And I said, hey, man, I think we should all talk about what happened with Dr. Shiva. You got a big channel. You should probably say something about it. Just say a word about it. And I'm like, but see, they were talking about, like on this same video that I was commenting on, they were talking about, oh man, there might be this potential rigging. I was like, okay, why don't we talk about the rigging that's already going on? So if you're worried about the rigging that's going to go on in the general election with Trump and Biden, and you're so scared that Trump's going to lose a rigged election, why don't we start talking about the rigging that's already going on in the Republican primaries? I said, wouldn't that be good? We jump ahead of that and we start bringing attention to it. That way we can expose this whole plan, because we got to know that you have to know that the Democrat Party is basically the deep state, and it's trying to infiltrate the Republican Party, and very deeply. And in my opinion, it already has, with the help of the Vatican, with the Vatican already running the Democrat Party. So, and so I said, hey, why don't you talk about how Dr. Shiva lost a rigged election, and how he's got proof that they threw away the voting images that they were supposed to hold on to for 22 months. Why don't you talk about how he got kicked off of Twitter by, I think, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of State of Massachusetts. I think that might have been who it was that called up Twitter, because he said, this is how I found out that certain people have like this special line to Twitter, and that I think they pay for, and that they can call it Twitter, and like if you're like a part of like a voting or something like that, or some other group, you can call Twitter, and Twitter's got to act immediately on it. And so here he is still running as a write-in candidate for Senate, and we already know that all they do is talk about the Republican and Democrat candidates. And now you cut him off from, like, I can't remember how many people he's got on Twitter, maybe like 500,000 or 1 million people, maybe, or maybe it's like 1.25 million or 250,000, somewhere around there. But now you cut this guy off from being able to talk to his people on a platform, on a pretty big platform, and it's like, but why aren't any of these like supposed truthers out there, like Tim Pool, H.A. Goodman, all these guys, man, like I don't even know. Did Lisa Haven? Did uh, uh just name any big YouTuber, any big name, and let me know, were they talking about Shiva getting ripped off in the Republican election? You care about the deep state, so you say. You want to put Trump in office to fight the deep state, so you say, but yet you're ignoring really important issues like that. And see, that's why I know most of these people are just gatekeepers. They're nothing more, or they're so self-absorbed they don't even like, don't bother listening to anyone and don't really care, and so they're really not much of a help. It's kind of brutal, but that's how it is. I mean, I just don't get why none of these people ever mention this stuff. Um, I'm really surprised at how many, almost no big channels mention it, and even like little channels, with 1,000 followers, couple thousand followers, even barely any of them are even mentioning Dr. Shiva getting ripped off. So, and another thing is, how many channels besides mine have you heard? I know this guy's channel. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I know because I play his video. I play the video clip, and I said, and I made a video especially focusing on it. So this was just said briefly. So if you go through his channel, you don't even know that this question was ever even asked or answered unless you follow him and happen to watch this one particular video. But I made a special point to make a video and have that in the title. Is Kamala Harris even a U.S. citizen? So not only is she not natural born, is she even a U.S. citizen, yet she's running for president, and Biden is running with a woman that might not even be a U.S. citizen, and you're supposed to uphold the Constitution, but you're allowing a ticket with a vice president that might not even be a U.S. citizen, let alone a natural born citizen. So, I mean, and you got to uphold the Constitution, right? Isn't that your primary job, is to execute and uphold the Constitution? And you have Kamala Harris as your VP. But yet, is Trump even calling it out? What other YouTubers besides me are calling this out, are pointing to this, are pointing this out, bringing attention to it? None, because they're gatekeepers. They'll cry about Donald Trump. Oh, man, the election's getting rigged. But you won't touch these topics. And that's why I know all these YouTubers out there, most of them are fake. Most of them are garbage. And I really don't have much respect for them. It's like, you guys, you want to say, hey, I'm nobody. Dude, at least cover some of the stuff. Rip me off, cover some of the stuff. You don't even bother to rip me off and cover some of these things. Look into them. It's like, and I mean, you guys are the ones who are the real fakes. So, and it's like years ago, I had the same issue. People weren't as awake, and I was pointing out, Judge Roberts, Bush nominating Judge Roberts, and I had all these people like hating me, calling me a liberal because I said Judge Roberts shouldn't be on the Supreme Court, and he's a horrible person. I went real deep into it, and it's like all these people trying to basically trying to just bury my channel, bury me, and I'm like, I was still doing waking up, so I didn't even know how to handle it, man. I was like, gosh, I know I'm just starting to kind of learn and read into this stuff. Am I wrong? Kind of was like stunned, a little bit, like, how are these people calling me a liberal? I'm like, what am I missing? But so I'm just kind of going through things, making sure I'm not missing anything I need to say, and that's really all I got to say about the election. I would say check out Dr. Shiva's videos, Dr. Shiva Idore. It's like, that's really important that you see, like, he really like in my opinion, he's really exposed that system this year. And really check out his video with like this guy who tried to run against Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida in 2016, 2018. If you know the name Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she basically helped rig the DNC so Hillary would win. And here's Tim Canova running against her. And there's a lot of evidence that that was rigged for her to win that. And he tried to fight that. And it happened to him twice in 2016, 2018. Anyway, Dr. Shiva and Tim Canova talk about all that in that video interview they do together. So if you go to Dr. Shiva's channel and look that that one particular interview up, I think that's like a really good one to listen to. I mean, that gives you some real deep insight. Try to suggest that to one of my big time Bernie Sanders friends. It's like, doesn't care, doesn't even want to watch it, can't even make time to watch. I'm like, really, dude? You're like so upset. You even tattooed Bernie's name into the side of your head and tattooed him on your arm, and yet you don't care about seeing this. Like, but that's the thing. Had he seen this, his idol would start to partially be exposed, because it's like, well, why didn't Bernie stick up for Tim Canova? Why didn't he say anything? Because have you ever heard of Bernie talking about poor old Tim Canova getting ripped off in a primary against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who helped rig the DNC primary so Hillary Clinton could beat Bernie Sanders? And Bernie Sanders doesn't even say anything about Tim Canova being ripped off by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh. And it's like, man, these guys, they just want to listen to what they want to listen to and feel good. Man, it's like not about, like, I just don't even care about reality, man. I don't care about the truth. I just let me have my tattoos on my body and my Bernie and like this. Oh man, it's frustrating. And I'm ending that friendship. I'm done, man. I was friends with this guy for 30 years. Try to hold on to this friendship, man. Try to be cool with him, because he's still cool with me, but it's like, I can't take it. I mean, I just can't take it, man. Like that stuff, like, you just don't even care about reality. You don't care. And then you call me the crazy one. And you're the one who doesn't even want to, like, look at anything. You're the one that doesn't even want to attempt to understand reality. So it's like, if you're not going to attempt to understand reality, what's the point of having a friendship with you? In fact, it's like when you're around crazy people, because I have been around crazy people in my life, where they're like mentally ill, like I've tried to talk to some homeless person. I couldn't talk to him. I gave him some money, gave him some food, but it's like they were like so out of their mind. Like I couldn't imagine having a friendship with this person, because this person is like so out of reality, and it makes you feel lonely. Like you can't relate to them, right? It's like they're not living here in this world. So if you're not existing in this world, how do I feel like I got company? It's kind of like that's how it is with some of these people I've known for a while. It's like, well, if you don't want to live in this world and understand the reality and accept truth that's going on around you, like, I mean, there's certain details I can understand if people like, well, the details behind this is a little foggy, maybe like we're talking about the group of Sandinistas, and like, well, I don't think they were all that good at people. And I'm like, well, I kind of think they were better than what, but those things are real foggy, because we don't know every single detail. But there are other things where we know the details, and it's like, or you see people like not even want to look into it at all. It's like, okay, we don't even want to exist in the same you don't want to exist in reality. You want to exist over here in your fantasy land. How can we even be friends? We're not even like living in the same world right now, because you want to live in some make-believe world. So I mean, I just can't pretend like that anymore. And actually, it's starting to get more and more like, it's not just like my my real Democrat friends or anything like that. It's like even like some of these like friends that keep wanting to hype up Trump, man. It's like, dude, like I don't get that, man. And I never thought I would ever think like this or feel like this, but like, to me, he has made it so clear. It's like, I tell you what, man, all he had to do was like this past time, if he could have just nominated a Protestant like someone that you know is like a real Protestant, not some little flimsy ecumenical, like a real Protestant, not a Catholic, I might have like kind of like, you know, faded on some of this like disgust I have with Trump. So if someone would have voted for him, I'd be like, I don't know, man. Maybe there is something to like he's trying to organize things. But like, I mean, like every single nomination, and then it's like all deep state or Catholic. It's like, no, 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 man. It's like, and you do it right before the election. It's like, really, you just don't, you don't need no other people's votes. You just need Catholic votes. That's all you need. Well, if you don't need my vote, and you don't need like these like independent Protestants and independent atheists and all these other people that are even starting to look at that and go, what? And they also see that you signed this $6 trillion check and all this other stuff. They don't see, they're really not seeing it much different. And to be honest, you know, these like Christian friends of mine that are still pushing Trump, dude, you're just deceived. You're straight up deceived, man. Like, that's all I gotta say. I'll just kind of leave it at that. I'm kind of beating a dead horse. Oh, hey, thank you, Giant wearing a regular sized people costume. I appreciate that. And in the end, they are loyal to their party. And yes, that yeah, I mean, it's not even just that. I mean, I think it's like this whole fear and wish and emotionalism. It's like they actually get swept up into that whole spell. Like, I know it feels good, man, when you're like, you know, you're around this big old crowd of people. Like, you go to a concert. You know, some people might still go to concerts, or some people are a little older and they might remember the days they went to a concert, and you're around a group of people and you're all supportive of a band and you're all getting into it. That feels real nice, man. Like, that feels really good. And I think people kind of get swept up into that with Trump too. Like, oh man, we're all on a team and we're all united, and it's actually supposed to be like that in life. It's supposed to, like, we're all supposed to be united under God and and his rule and kingship, and we're all supposed to be like obeying him, loving him, and you know, and abiding by the same rules, you know, and treating everybody in that whole godly manner, and you get in, like, if it was like that, you know, and you had like all your focus is on God, it would have that concert like feeling, but it would be real. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh man, we're all into this one group. We like, it's like, yeah, I think it'd be magnified because it's like we're all into that one God, you know, that like we're into that, and you're like supporting something that is 100% good. Like, you're not supporting something that's like false. Um, Parties circumvent the will of the people every time. Now, I will say that's mainly, to me, it's only on like a national level and a federal level. Local state officials for local state government that don't go outside the state, I do have some hope for them, and not all of them do circumvent things like that. We actually, in Indiana, we actually do have some really good state officials, and we just got two more elected in Johnson County, um, and so I feel like we have a slight chance to go in a better direction, but when it comes to like our state reps that are talking to like the president and stuff, like the congressmen and the senators, man, if I see those guys, I mean, honestly, it would be really hard for me probably not to get in a confrontation with them. I'm like I'm so furious with the way they have just like blown me off and just like won't answer anything I say. You know, tell me, oh well, we'll send you a letter and all this other stuff. You know, about our position on that. Never do. and it's like I want a good explanation, and it's like I really want to corner them and make them answer something on a video, and like just make them answer a question on a video. I really wish I had time. I mean, that's going to be another thing. If people want to see some kind of change, or they want to see, now I know a lot of people are kind of like just preparing themselves for the second coming of God right now. They're preparing themselves for the Antichrist system. I believe, though, that we still got to do whatever we can, just like it wasn't around the corner. And you still got to do sensible, responsible things, and got to do your civic duties and things like that. And part of that is, like, let's say that wasn't in the Bible, and let's say that like it was still 1,000 years away or something. I don't think it is. I think it's right around the corner. But let's just say it was 1,000 years away. What would be the most sensible things to do? The most sensible things to do would be to, like, okay, in 2 years, a Republican primary is coming up. What you do is you find people within your community who voted the last primary, because that's the thing. They had to vote in the last primary to be able to run in the next primary. Which I have done, because I do plan to run. I was trying to run the year before last. I mean, the election before last, and I just couldn't. I was fighting the media, and I just and they were doing everything they could to bury me, because there were certain sites you could get on, or you get on their Facebook page and start talking to other people. Like, look, I'm interested, and these people would actually, like, email you and things, and they could get in contact with you and help you build a campaign. But they were wiping me off of this, so I didn't know really where to go. And I was just like, man, I'm working so many hours, and this is the last thing I need to deal with. And I was like, I started to go into it, and I was like, man, like I don't think I can. I'm scared I'm going to be like 1,000 signatures short of 50,000 or whatever it was you needed. And I'm like, man, I can't do it. So, but what people need to do is try to work for the next primary, because let's face it, it's really hard to get a libertarian or a Constitution Party person nominated, but you don't need to do that. You just treat the Republican primary like it's the real election. Because pretty much if you can get a good candidate on it, you're halfway to winning. And especially, like, there are like counties and sections of your state where they vote almost Republican every single time. So if you can just win the primary, you get a good person at least into that section of the state. And even if it's not your own section, it's still nice to have a couple of sections. Because just think, like in India, people are like, well, you knew you were moving out of Johnson County. Why were you still giving your money to these candidates? Okay, let's say we would. I don't know if we got enough of the right people in that county, but let's say we were 2 away, and I helped get 2 more, that the 2 we needed into that county to make a change. That would make good legislation. And let's say it was just those 2. We just need those 2 more people. I get them in. Now in Brownsburg, it might be like, oh no, we're gonna really lock it down and make everybody wear masks. But maybe in Johnson County, they don't do it, because I got those people. I got those people in Johnson County to get elected, and maybe these people in Johnson County do the right thing, and then later on, give it 4 months later, you compare it to my mask wearing township or county I'm in, and you compare it to theirs, and like, let's say their numbers are no different or lower, well, then my county can no longer justify. So even though I gave money to people outside my county that are outside of my county now since I moved, those people could still set an example within their county, and then when people like me kind of like argue with my city council here in this county, well, they got less of a leg to stand on, because I can always point to Johnson County and be like, well, look what they're doing in Johnson County. How come we can't do that here? It worked in Johnson County, but you're telling us we got to wear a mask. But they're not wearing a mask in Johnson County, and no one's dying. But yet more people are dying here, and they're wearing masks. Why do we have to keep wearing masks? And see, And that's what you do, people. That's all you got to do. Just support whoever. It's like, even if it's like a county that you think is not as outside your county. Maybe you live in a real liberal county, and you're like, well, I see there's some good people over here in this other county running. Maybe I'll go help them. And you at least help them. And that's, I don't know. Those are the kind of, like, I'm trying to think of whatever little sensible things I can do in order to better the situation. And I mean, I think that's just what, the kind of things, people got to go do. But yeah, but federally, it takes so much to run federally that you definitely got to have like some people behind you to help you get all your collect all the signatures you need to even get on a ballot for a primary. Unless maybe it's like a Congress seat, you might be able to just go to like a few little areas and get all the signatures you need. But for like a senator's, to get like a senator position or something, it's pretty hard unless you got help. And you actually like really don't need to focus on federal too much if you can just get the right people in your state and get the state people to reject this stuff. Even in your own county, just get them to reject this stuff. You'll go a long way to fighting it. But anyway, someone says Trump is also in on it. If they tell him to step down, he will step down without blinking an eye. And I agree. I just think it's all a show. They're going to have Biden win. They're going to have Trump fight it. And but I think that was all pre-planned. Like, I don't think Trump is like fighting it for any kind of like, oh, I really want to fight for the American people. I am way past believing that. And anyone caught up in that, I feel like they were just so deceived. It is 100% a show. And it's like this election, I just don't know how anyone can't see it. I can understand maybe past elections, but like this one, especially after, like when you're just watching only two parties debate, and you see that Trump nominated all the deep state that helped the other party get away with crimes for like a couple of decades, all the way back to 1992 up until now. So almost 3 decades, they've helped them get away with various crimes, and you're nominating them. And then it's like, and then when you see only Trump and the Democrat, which he's helped the Democrat Party get away with crimes by nominating all these people and basically rewarding them. And now you see that, hey, I'm only going to debate Biden. Well, you're rigging it because that's all you're giving publicity for. That's all you're giving a voice. Like I said, I think that's socialism, or some kind of dictatorship. Hey, we're only giving you this. Us, the government, we're going to decide who you get to vote, who you get to pick from, and these are the only 2 candidates you're going to know about. We're not going to tell you about anybody else, and I don't want anyone. And people still make excuses for Trump on that. And I'm like, no, Trump could have said, hey, I want to debate these other people. I want to make sure the American people are getting the best choice, and I'm confident I'm that better choice, and I want to debate all these people. Because I don't know why. I mean, if you're really running to help America, that should be the attitude you take. It shouldn't be like, well, I want to make sure I don't have competition. I'm only going to debate this senile guy. And you're going to lose to him, though. It looks like you're losing to him. That really says how sad you are, how little people think of you. But I mean, to me, that looks so rigged. And so that's why I'm like, this year, I feel like my eyes have been open more than ever. Everything I kind of was suspicious of, I feel like it's just been blown open. It's like, but that's the only decent thing I can say about Trump was he really like ripped the lid off of how scammy this could be. And the only people still buying into it, I really fear for their souls. I really wonder if they're going to go to hell. I made a public comment about that, and I was really surprised that 10 people on my Facebook page thumbed it up. And I was really surprised who did it too, because one was like a person I helped get elected. I was like, wow, you actually thumbed up my comment. You're better than I thought. I didn't think they would. I thought they might actually take it personally. And this person thumbs it up, and I'm like, whoa, that is, you're a better human being than I thought I was nominating. Like I actually thought I couldn't get a good, I wouldn't get a good human, a human being that good nominated. So I mean, I still like. I don't know where this person's ultimately going to go, but the fact that he thumbed up a comment like that, and I know they even voted for Trump, and I was like, wow, because they showed their ballot when they went to the office, and they showed who they got voted for. They voted for the Libertarian governor, and they voted for Trump, and I was like, wow. And then I thought they would take my comment real personal, but I think what it was they were doing it because in our state, if you dare vote against Trump because so many people are deceived, they will probably go out of their way to like rip you apart and not nominate you. And to the degree to where they'll make these excuses that you got to vote for Trump no matter what, and he's so bad. And even if you talk about Kavanaugh and all this, and they agree with you, they'll be like, "But you still got to vote for Trump. You still got to do. You still got to do it." But man, but if she would have voted for like a third party or something, they would have been ripping her apart. So and it's hilarious to me because it's like, isn't she better than the Democrat that would have snuck in? But boy, they'll see there's something really going warped in people's heads, man. They like they're really doing something that's not making much sense. Well, at least someone agrees, Of course, you're not supposed to lay down and let the beast system take over. That is right. And I am really glad, people feel that way because I do talk to some Christians, man, that like, I try talking about some of this stuff in the same way, and they're like, well, you can't really do anything. This system's just going to be. And it's like, those are the same. And it's like, it's so weird because they'll try to sound so spiritual. And I'm like, even to the point to where they get me to doubt myself. And then it's like, hey, what are you doing right now? Oh, I'm finishing up watching this Netflix series, and it's like, okay. I think I know really where you're going. I bet they're using that more of an excuse to be lazy and not do anything, and just kind of let me just enjoy my life while it is before that beast system gets here, and I'm just gonna kick back and enjoy things, right before this beast system. And I think those people are gonna get blindsided, and like they're gonna get more than what they're bargaining for, more than what they expect. Okay, someone says Danish newspaper reveals largest study on mask has been rejected by 3 medical journals. October 23rd, 2020. Okay, now is that mask? Is it saying masks are good or masks are bad? Because they reject it because these studies were showing. These journals that rejected these studies, are they showing that the masks were bad or good? That would be my. They are not happy with the latest study on mask wearing. But I mean, were those was that study, was it saying that the masks were bad or good to wear? I guess that's my main question. Because it wouldn't surprise me if like they were like, yeah, masks don't help at all, and masks are horrible, and these medical journals are rejecting it. Because I'm imagining a large study on mask has been rejected by 3 medical journals because it revealed that masks are bad, or were these medical journals was this study saying that they were good, and the medical journals were saying, "Oh no, masks are horrible." I guess that's kind of my like question there. Oh yeah. Hey everybody. Like everyone who was on my live stream last Friday, I could not. I couldn't get a hold of one of those breath oxygen level detectors. I'm gonna try to get a hold of it next week. I got things like a little laid out different in my schedule, so I might be able to get to like a couple of different stores to go look for one. So I couldn't like go and like conduct any kind of like one-on-ones where I'm showing it and I'm asking like either the Board of Health or the Indiana Health Department or school officials to explain, you know, why should a kid be wearing a mask if it drops a person's oxygen level to 17.5? How is it safe? Who did this study that says it's safe? How can I verify it? I also need to probably have like a lot of good questions laid out. So I just want to apologize for that. But hey, I'm gonna go. I'm really glad that everyone stopped by my channel, and I got like probably about like 10, 15, maybe 20 people randomly. I got this stream going on a couple of different channels. So I'm really glad that I got this many people just to kind of show up on a random stream. I tried to give everybody a little bit more heads up this time. Try to give you like send out an hour's notice, or maybe it was 2 hours almost. I think it was about an hour and a half. And I'm just glad everyone bothered to stop by. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can just find that. Rejected by 3 medical journals, October 23rd. Let's see here. Rejected October 23rd, 2020. Study. Okay, so here's that article. COVID-19 study on mask wearing efficacy rejected as no one is brave enough to publish results. A large-scale study in Denmark that sought to determine if masks help stop the spread of COVID-19 has been rejected by several prestigious journals. The authors hinted that their findings were inconvenient to the status quo. So I'm guessing that there's this large study and it found out that masks don't help at all, or helps very, 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 very little, if anything. So, and it says the authors hinted that their findings were inconvenient to the status quo. So that would be what that means. The Lancet, the New England Journal of Medicine, and the American Medical Association Journal all turned down the paper. Danish media reported Thursday. So someone's got this study and they just turn it down. Maybe I can call up American Medical Journal sometime if I can remember. The study, which began in late April, involved 6,000 Danes, half of whom were asked to wear a mask at all times in public places. The other half were selected as a control group and were instructed not to cover their faces. After a month, participants were tested for COVID-19 as well as for antibodies against the virus. The study's researchers have remained tight-lipped about their findings, but they've dropped plenty of clues that suggest it was the paper's conclusion, not its methodology, that led to the journal's rejections. So they're saying that everything they did was like pretty good methods, pretty good ways of going about doing the test. And the collection of data was pretty good, but they just didn't like the conclusion, which was shouldn't wear a mask. Doesn't do any good, or does very little good. Not enough to warrant how much money you're spending, and all the trouble. And I don't know, for some people, it's like the lack of oxygen. It's like, hey, I'll sacrifice 2% of my oxygen intake to protect myself and reduce my chances of getting the virus down. Now I'm 0.0001% chance less likely to get COVID. You know, and it's like if you found that out, you wouldn't wear the mask. It's like, what's the point? Even 1%, like I'm 1% less likely to get it. You know, so 99% of that chance of me getting it's still there, but I'm 1% less likely to get it. Give me that mask. Most people wouldn't wear the mask. They're like, wow, you know, that's practically nothing. But I bet it was less than 1%. Because that's kind of what I think one other study I saw showed. But anyway, I think I'll just conclude it with that. Thanks everybody for stopping by, sharing your thoughts. Like I said, I'll try to do a show. Maybe I'll try to do another show later at night once my kids go to sleep. I'm gonna go play with them for about another hour or two. And anyway, thanks for watching.